Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Petetorious Interviews, episode number 5. We're doing it. Getting rid of procrastination. I love it. Well, it's been very fun. This has been a great podcast, and I love it because I keep getting even better guests. That's right. Slap to everyone who has been before. No, but I love this podcast. I really have been enjoying it. Thank you for the few people who have been listening to it. It really means a lot. If you are seeing this and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I am definitely going to keep doing it, keep doing more, getting more guests, more interesting people. And this man who I am talking to is nothing short of interesting. He is somebody I've been doing comedy with for a long time, or throughout my journey, my stint of the few years I've been doing it. And you're going to definitely find him interesting as well. He is another comic. He is from the North Seattle scene, which as we might break down that there's always different scenes in Seattle versus North Seattle versus Tacoma and everywhere about that. So always brings interesting characters. So without further ado, any sort of elongated intro, let's bring in good pal of Peter Artman's, Casey Judson.
Hey, man.
Hello, hello. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little tired, but not tired enough to sit here and talk.
That's good. That is
You know?
important. Those
It's
make
not
for
really,
bad
it's not
interviews.
work, you know?
No. Do you
Yeah.
consider, does comedy ever feel like work to you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah,
I
we'll get
mean,
it.
you do have to really work hard if you want to make it to the top. That is true. And I have not made it to the top, but I'm aware at least of what what goes into it.
Well, based on your title, you're almost dead, so I don't think there's any hope for you. That's what it seems like,
I might live forever. Actually, I've been looking into it, talking to different doctors, and turns out I might outlive you, I don't know.
Yeah. So having some witch doctors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Casey Judson, comics who should be dead. I'm going to act like I don't know what this is. What is this? Why is that your title?
Oh, because we got a group of comics. We started a show, and the idea was it's like older guys, who've had health problems and issues in life, and I
Okay.
want to put other people like that on the show who've been through hard experiences. And I just like the sound of the name. It's just kind of like people go, "What's that all about?"
Yeah.
I've actually had a headliner say his wife say, "I don't want anybody on a show that says dead in the title." And so it turns some people off and some people like it, which is good. It's kind of jokes I like. It's like the name is a joke.
Yeah, that's a good sign actually that you should almost keep doing it, because if it does spark that type of emotion, you're almost, I mean, no offense to that person's wife, but you're kind of filtering out people who like are kind of triggered by words.
Kind of, yes, sir. That's a good that's a good thought actually. Which is funny though is I didn't want to get the guy in trouble with his wife though, I feel bad about that because you just kind of have to deal with your wife at a certain point. But if she says no, I guess maybe that was his excuse to opt out. It could have been.
And that's
Anyway.
the people. Those people I hate the most, honestly.
Sure, when they can't tell you the truth.
well, when people use their family as a scapegoat, like, I mean, I love my, my brother is impeccable with that, and he has his wife who I do like. We have butted heads a little bit, but they've done this thing where they'll be like, oh, but my niece, our daughter said she's really tired. I was like, she didn't actually, or
how you can tell he's lying.
Yeah.
You're like, that's a lie. I can tell by your voice right now.
No, actually, what it was there was like, hey, we can either go by car or we're gonna go on the boat. Actually, like, I'm gonna go on the boat with my dad and this, that, and the other. And they were supposed to drive and go in the car. Like, that was how the perfect plan was to make that work. And they go, oh, well, actually, the niece said that she wants to ride the boat. I was like, you are just trying to make me drive, and I hate using your kids as a leverage.
Yes.
It's gross.
It is gross.
Don't have kids.
That's why I don't have any kids.
Because
kids are gross. That's not what you said though. You didn't say kids are gross.
No, they're not gross. I mean,
No.
they obviously are. I'm
They are
lucky.
kind of gross. They pick their nose a lot and that kind of stuff. But that's a whole.
Oh, they
different
just do not care. I mean, I kind of do, but
Oh,
I just
sure. Yeah, we
I'm
all
discreet.
do.
I'm discreet. Yeah, don't. Okay, all right. That's a tangent. We're getting off too far. Okay, so we're supposed to pretend like we're actually professional, and we have an intro here. So,
Yes.
so Casey, tell me. So this is something I like to just kind of start.
Oh, by
off
the
with.
way, I wanted to say that the next show we have is on this coming Friday.
Yeah.
At 8:30 p.m. and it's at Backfire Moto Bar, which is about 2 blocks north of Green Lake in North Seattle on Aurora Avenue, 7701 Aurora Avenue North. Anyone can come. So
anyone?
Well,
just anyone,
except for no jerks. You know,
okay.
Anyone who identifies as a jerk, they can't. Well, Steve Martin can come, but anyway.
that's really good, dude.
Thank you. The ultimate jerk.
I love
your.
Yeah. You're always
Fuck,
out
if
left
Steve
field.
Martin came, I would probably shit myself. Probably.
Yeah. He's like, you're saying I can't come in. It's like, dude, Casey said no jerks, and like you are one of the jerks.
We talked about having Bill Cosby on the other day. That would be controversial, huh?
Wait, what did he say? What?
We talked about having Bill Cosby on the show the other day.
Oh, yeah.
That would be controversial, huh?
I mean, that would get tickets. Be like, wow, you know what? Like, I gotta see how Casey. I would just go show up to be like, how'd you book him? Okay, I found the answer. Back. Okay, I gotta go. But that's pretty crazy. But so Casey, I want to ask you, like, just as far as like, you're obviously a comic. That's why I have you on. But as far as who you are, and I don't want to say as far as like how you identify, but like I like to say with my last guest, I asked kind of if you're on a date and a girl asks like, "What's your deal?" How would you describe that? Or you're a comic. How do you define yourself?
Oh, wow. As a comic?
Or just in general, as a person. I mean,
if I was out on a date, my girlfriend would be really upset.
There we go.
I'd be like, we gotta hide, we gotta wear like disguises and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, let's say you haven't met your girlfriend yet. You're trying to impress your current girlfriend, and in the future you will, but you gotta land a good line, or at least just say who you are. Like, how do you like? I don't know. Maybe it's just too existential, but I mean, I just like to kind of get like a gritty sort of like, we all kind of have our jobs and we all have our like positions, but how do we really, do you see yourself? Some people go like, I figure myself as a philosopher, or I figure myself. I
actually told people recently that I am a comedy producer.
Well, that's a lie.
I mean, because I'm starting to actually identify with the role of comedy producer.
Okay.
Which I mean, I kind of want to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I had a lot of health problems, and I can't travel and do all these things. I have the talent, I think, to be a comedian, but there's a lot of driving and all this, and I just think maybe I started too late, and now I can just do a show in one place, and I can always book myself, and I'm sort of out of having to worry about that. So I like to sort of think in terms of being a comedy producer now, even if I'm not successful yet. I'm sort of like you as far as doing your podcast. You're like, once you commit to doing it, you know what I mean? That's your thing, So I'm into it. I want to produce shows.
So that's how you would say that's who you are.
Yeah, I would say so. Yes.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna make that happen in my head and make it so it makes money.
Yeah. So, manifest it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. So so you said you started comedy too late. How long have you been doing comedy?
I started about 2017.
Okay.
So that's let's do the math. 6 years.
That is correct.
Boom.
That is correct math.
I also identify as math genius.
Okay. See, now we're adding things to it. We're going to build your confidence back. Actually, I'm this. Actually, I'm that. And
right.
That's how it works. Yeah. So like,
yeah.
What? So, with the mind that you have, with the mind you have, it's surprising that I'm sure you've been like this the whole time, right? Like, I mean, like comedy kind of seems like comedy probably found you more than you found comedy, because you've always been, I mean, I'm kind of just assuming, but just how you talk to me and how you're always doing these like out of left field comments, it seems like you've always kind of been this. You've been
Oh
meant to be a
yeah, I think it
comedian.
developed over time, but I was always considered to be a funny person. But
Yeah.
I didn't always have a lot of confidence, and so that takes a while to develop. Some people have it actually, Some people
Yeah.
have. There's different kind of comics. There's some who have the confidence right away, and they have no problem with that. And then they have to learn to be funny, but everyone likes their comedy. But then some people are funny, but they don't have the confidence to do it, And so it just sort of develops over time.
Yeah.
It's an interesting journey. I don't know. It's interesting, isn't it? Interesting. You seem to be doing good at it.
I mean, it's subjective, and I'm the latter of it, where I did my first open mic when I was 19.
You what?
I did my first open mic when I was
Oh
19
wow, really? How old are you
at
now?
33.
Oh wow, you did? Dang, you've been
Yeah,
doing
so
it
I
a
mean,
long time.
no, I haven't. That's
I
what's
think my
fucked up.
first mic I did when I was like ridiculous, like not even. It's 43 or something.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I mean,
way
but
too late to start. I probably would have been great. I mean, it's easy to say, but I would
yeah.
have been something if I started when I was like 20 and really grinded it. You know what I mean?
Well, then that's for me is like, I did it at 19, but I didn't stick with it. I did probably 3 after
Right.
that. And then I got into radio and I was like, oh, okay, like this can kind of be like a vice that's the same.
That'd be awesome if you
Not,
had an actual radio show.
that's what
Have
I'm
you ever
doing.
thought about doing that? I always thought about
Well,
it'd
that's
be
that's
cool.
that's what this is. It's
Yeah,
like
right. It is actually.
what
Yes.
happened with me is like, I got into it and then I started losing hours. And here's the testament of how I'm glad I got off that path, was because the person who was ahead of me, like he did everything. Like, I mean, he would stay up 24 hours to run the board at a radio station. He was doing everything like 5 years straight, just
Oh wow.
grinding, quote. Really, it's like waiting your way up and shit like that.
What is he
But
trying to just get his own show on a
mhm.
on a on a what do you call radio station?
Yeah. So it was at KSW.
Oh,
And
okay,
so
okay,
and so
all
and so
right.
that's where I was working. I was kind of below him. So it was
Bob
kind of like,
Rivers. Did you know him?
no, I did not.
Oh, Andrew Rivers,
Yeah.
the comic. His dad
Yeah.
was Bob Rivers. He's like a legendary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. No, I'm all about that. Yeah. But what the thing was, I was supposed to be after him, quote,
Right.
and he went on forever and ever, almost about to get a show. Turns
Ah.
out he quit because he was going so far down that road and he wasn't getting a result. Like I would have been
Stringing him along.
stringing
Sounds
him
like.
along, being like, hey, one day. But I mean, they're cutting budget, all that sort of shit.
That's a bummer.
And so this is what I'm doing now. That this is me reviving my radio career,
Oh,
or
okay. Interesting. That's very
trying to
interesting.
flex that muscle again,
Right, right.
because it is
And
that.
are you hoping to get, when you make the podcast successful, then you'll get like an offer to be radio, or do you just want to do just this on your own anyways to keep
Probably
the
just this.
independence?
Probably just this,
Yeah.
because what you have to do is you have to play their game. You have to play kind of their game, their rules.
Yes.
It's like a corporation where you have sponsors and you have things like that, and you have to do
Yes.
spots. You have to cut commercials, which obviously, I mean, I'd love to have my own commercials for things I really like. But
you'll get there.
yeah,
As soon as you get listeners, you'll be able to get a lot of listeners. You'll be able to get people to advertise with you and stuff.
yeah, that's the hard part. It's like comedy. The hard part's the beginning. It's
right.
just getting people.
Lots to learn, though. Lots to learn.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
Getting people to listen. Right.
It's just like your show. It's like your Comics Who Should Be Dead show, where you're saying beforehand, where you're like, it's the hard part is getting people here. We're doing comedy. We've you have jokes you have tried and are true to yourself and what you like, but it's getting people to believe you, to see it.
Right.
It's
the first 2 shows sold out, and then you gotta figure out how to keep them coming.
Yeah. Yeah, how to switch it up, how to switch up the lineups, probably, and
yes,
it's finding
not
out,
and not too much. Also, all kinds of different stuff to think about.
Yeah, it's consumer. I think we are trying to learn. We're like white belts in consumer marketing. We're really lost. Like, there's techniques we keep losing to, where it's
Right,
like
and
you
then there's
try
only
this.
so much money you can spend on advertising.
Yeah.
Also, you're trying to stay within a budget, and and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the shows are going good though.
Yeah, the shows have gone good. The first two were really, really good, real exciting. Everybody was happy and everything was good. Then we've only done 2 other ones, and they're still good, but not quite as many people came to them. So I think we kind of got lucky, where it feels like it was going to be easy, and then I'm like, oh no, it's not going to quite be easy. You gotta have to, figure out how to, like really hustle too. Go pass out flyers in the neighborhood and invite people personally to come. There's all kind of different strategies, and so my idea is just invite people to come. And I was having an open mic after the show, which I think will draw comics. At a certain point, I also just want to have a crowd of people for the comics. Like, I feel like I'm responsible for making sure they have a crowd. You know what I mean? And some people are like, oh, sometimes you get a crowd, sometimes you don't. I'm like, no, I think that's kind of a loser way to look at it. If you invite them, you should make them have a crowd, and the room's only 30 people. It's a tiny room, so it's like starter kit for producing. If you can't sell out a 30-person room every time, you're probably not going to get a bigger room.
Yeah.
So,
you have to try something different. Like you said, sometimes it's going out at night, and what I've seen is it's I hate it when it's blatantly obvious, but some people will come up to you, talk to you just so they can get another Instagram follower.
Oh sure, yeah. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Like, hey, how's it going? And you're like, okay, well, I'm a little down.
Yeah, that's
good.
thing.
How are you? And then like, yeah, so what do you do?
McBride, right? You're a big fan of Jason McBride.
Not really. I'm done with this stuff. No, dude, yeah, no, I love Jason McBride, man.
Well, McBride and I produced it together now, and it's kind of turning out to be like us too. And we have the similar kind of outlook. We're like, we like writing jokes, performing, but we don't want to be like a guy who's just like, yeah, look at me, promoting doesn't come natural to us. Like,
no,
we don't. I like to have a genuine thing where you talk to people, not have a reason to you're selling something.
No, you guys aren't. I mean, just by nature, you obviously can be, but I wouldn't see you guys as being promoters. Like, you guys aren't rush into a crowd and go, "Hey guys, come to this."
But you can turn it into a friendly thing, Where, like, I say, the show could turn into invite only, where if you ask somebody, it's like because you like them, you want them to be in the crowd. It's only, what I mean? It's like a special thing. I'm trying to turn it into like a special thing, where it's like the show is special, and the people who come to it are like chosen, and it's a cool place. It's a legit cool bar, and the bar owner is like a really, really cool guy.
Yeah.
It's called Backfire Moto. He's this little dude, and he's kind of funny himself. He always jokes about what jokes I should do, but he's totally not at all into really telling you what to do, and he's a blessing. All he cares is about a room, people having fun, and they come into the bar and buy some drinks, and it helps his business.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
That's the math of it. That's what it takes. Just getting people in, buying drinks, buying food.
Yeah.
And saying,
I don't
hey,
even
did
think
you make
he sells
profit?
food there. It's just all drinks. But it's a cool bar, motorcycle joint. It's like people pull up in their motorcycles and hang out. It's like a hangout. Yeah. It's a cool place. I highly recommend people come by there and check it out.
Going to be some biker humor.
Yeah. I was thinking I was going to open the show this next time about because I'm not a bicycle guy at all, a motorcycle guy.
Bicycle?
Oh, yeah, exactly. See, I said it even wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not a motorbike guy.
I would cry laughing. I bet if you said that, they'd be like, what the fuck?
Right. I'm going to just open the show and be like, one thing about me
I don't ride bicycles.
You need to know is I love motorcycles. That's all I really care about. It's just...
No, you just be like, I'm not like you guys. I'm not really a bicycle type of guy.
Yeah.
They'd be like, what the fuck? It's a Harley, brother.
Yeah. You know the motorized bicycles you guys got? You know,
Yeah.
isn't that what they call them? You know?
Oh yeah. No, that'll start.
Yeah, I want to get one though. I want to get a motorcycle. But you ever ride a motorcycle?
I've ridden dirt bikes.
Oh, okay. There
I've
you
ridden
go.
dirt bikes as a kid.
Am I allowed to ask you questions?
You are. You
Oh,
are
okay. I
allowed
didn't
to.
know that. That'd
You
be
know
cool
what?
if you were real if you were real I don't want to say the word Nazi, but if you're a Nazi about it, if you're like, no asking me questions, I'm the boss here, you son of a bitch.
Wait, that would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be funny to me. I'd be like,
damn it. Okay, well maybe I should switch my.
That'd be so against my idea of your personality. Because you know what? I don't really know you that well.
Yeah.
I feel like I do because we were pretty good pals and out in the comedy scene, but we never hung out or anything yet.
Right. Yeah. Well,
that's something we need to do. We got to hang out sometime.
Totally. Oh yeah. You know, and that's what I like about this is that even though it's like we kind of surface meet a bunch of times, but we never like, you know, we meet each other on the surface. Hey, how's it going? Good. Are you? Comedy good? Good.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? But I think these sort of longer conversations can help us actually go, oh shit, you do this or you do that, or you know, there's just different thoughts, and especially when two comics talk, we can talk about different approaches. And you know, I want to learn about your approach to comedy because I feel like what would you say?
It's a disaster. My approach is just the whole. The whole problem is the approach, you know.
Well, we know that. I mean, your show is Comics Who Should Be Dead, so obviously you want this to end in a train wreck. So I already know that. But I meant, like, you know, something that you have that I really envy is you do have this really out of left field type of approach to comedy, and I would smoke a cigarette too with that. But with you know what I'm really bad at is I'm bad at like writing one-liners, and you seem to be very good at that. I'm very story. Like, I mean, I will write a joke, and I can't do just a, hey, you hear this? Well, turns out, I have few jokes I can do that with. And
I bet you can do it. It's just you just don't think you can do it.
Yeah, I guess I write
it's not in your wheelhouse. It's not in your comfort zone.
No, it's definitely not my comfort zone. It's like, yeah, I have, and I've, you know, the ones that have been one-liners just came to me.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's how they happen, man.
It wasn't
like that. Or in conversation.
Yeah.
When you're just talking. It's not like you wrote it. It comes out of your head.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I just thought it. Sometimes I just wake up one day. I just wake up and I go, like, oh fuck, my mind's so tired. I go, oh fuck this. But wait, what about fuck that? Oh wow.
Yeah.
I think I just did my first one-liner. Like, whoa, holy shit. And I'm like, wow, that's actually a pretty good joke. But how do you write? How do you write your material?
What I do is I mostly have conversations with funny people, or even on social media, and it'll just come out through conversation.
Yeah,
I can never sit down and go. I can't do it very well, anyways. Where I sit down and go, I need to write some jokes today. So I'm actually kind of like, you know how Jay-Z says he never writes any lyrics
in his head, all in his head.
I'm not Jay-Z, obviously. You know, they don't look.
You sure about that?
I don't look very much like Jay-Z, I don't think. But yeah. So it'll just come out through talking. It's sort of just like that, you know. And but one thing will do is jokes I have already wrote or already performed. I do chop them up, take parts out, that kind of thing. But as far as the actual starting point of a joke, it always comes out through talking or something I said on stage, because I record it. I record all of them.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, I have too many jokes. Actually, is a big problem. I've been meaning to go through all the old sets, and take out all the good jokes, and just put them organized. But it's now become such a big deal. There's so many that to go through that, you know, it's just going to become a big chore.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, that's how my brain works for comedy.
Yeah. And you know, I've gotten used to now doing what you don't do with like I mean, I'll do like time writing. I force myself, I time it, and I just go, okay, boom. Like I have this topic I have to do. I write my phone of concepts to try,
Okay, right. Good.
It's like just concepts, and when it's a dead audience, I go, yep, concepts to try. I'm just gonna say something out loud. One little, I'll go, okay, exploring that. We're gonna keep going.
Oh,
Once
that's
it
good. I
dies,
like that.
next joke there. I
Right.
actually did a Mitch's new mic on Thursday, and actually went really well. I was like, okay, sweet. So something's happening, but
Oh, I've been meaning to go to that. I've been wanting to go to that.
yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
good. But
I like Mitch. He's cool.
but you know the of course, yeah, no, I mean he's all right, whatever, you know.
Oh yeah,
For
I'm sorry. That's not cool to say someone's cool.
yeah, this is
You're
not
like,
that
Mitch
podcast,
is a
Casey.
giant piece of shit.
Thank you. All right, now we can keep
Now
going.
we're doing it. Now we're doing it.
No, shout out Mitch Job.
Shout out Mitch, you big bastard, you.
I mean, if this gets back to him, that only means I'm growing. So it's
right,
like,
and I don't want to
really
get beat up by a guy who's like, you know, half my age, you know, that kind of, it's embarrassing. Man.
shit. Yeah, no, I feel that. But what I was gonna say is you know that what they say is where everybody's funny in front of their friends.
Oh sure,
Right?
yes, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I think of is I have a friend who every time I'm with him, I am making them all laugh, and I get in my car, I leave the good time, and I go, fuck me, like what was I talking about? Like you ever have that where you're on a roll with your friend, you're so comfortable,
dude.
and you're going, dude, I think if I recorded that, I would have had like 8 jokes to write about, like where I don't know, like it's weird how that works. And
right. Oh yeah, that is weird. I actually have a joke where I said I thought of this great joke and I was gonna write it down, and then my girlfriend was like, hey, can you clean the cat box? You know? And then I was like, oh shit, I forgot the thing that I just, you know what I mean, just because of that, you know. And then I'll say, but you'll just have to trust me. It was an excellent joke.
Oh right. Oh yeah, like that you had to be there type of joke. Yeah.
And a few comics will laugh at it, you know, real loud. Andy laughs at it. He likes it because it's not it's like a meta joke, you know. It's not.
Yeah.
But it is true though. It is something you actually literally hear a thing and it's like gold in your head. It's gold.
Yeah.
And you don't write it down and it's gone. You can't remember it. You can't even remember what it was about.
Well, and that's the joke too, is that like it's relatable, where we've all had a story that we've eventually gone, oh my God, then you're in the middle of it and you're like, this has nothing. Like you're like, I'm losing steam as I'm talking about this. And then and then you have that.
Yeah.
Should have been there. Okay. Yeah. No, that's the joke of it.
Think it's gold and it's not. That's what those are funny to me, because I feel like you have it's fun to go up and tell something that you just thought of and have it really do well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then you're like, wow, I don't have to do any work. All I do is say my thoughts and everyone laughs. Ha ha ha. Yeah. But it doesn't work like that. It works like that sometimes, and then other times it doesn't. And it's like, you can't take your chances. You have to there's times when you have to do well. You know what I mean? In fact, you should be doing well every time. Really.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and you get lazy, because I think we've all had those nights where you go, everything's fire. Everything is fire. I touch. So then you can just go, you know what? Concepts I can try are now solidified bits. But you have to have a medium between the concepts to try, filter, trim, and then go on stage.
Right.
And those nights make you cocky.
Right, and the ability to ad lib in between and you know, to save it when it doesn't go good and all that kind of stuff, you know.
That's what makes a good comic, is like the headliners, the really good people. What I notice is they are, it's like they almost have a planted rebuttal on when it doesn't work. You go, well, here, or at least a gear that turns where they go, you didn't get it, or maybe you did, and maybe I'm not funny.
I think that comes with comfort.
Comfort, for sure. Oh yeah,
you're on stage and you're comfortable, and you just get more comfortable, and you're not thrown off by a thing as easy, and it makes you able to think on your feet when you're not all when you get rid of that nervousness.
Yeah, because when you're uncomfortable, you're just sticking to script. You're like when you're
and they can tell too. They can tell. Have you ever I have in my car, I have like, hundreds of hours of old comics, that I like. We all have our favorites.
Yeah.
But now when you do comedy more, you don't just listen to them and laugh. You listen to them and you're like, how are they doing this?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think you said that was something you were interested in, evaluating good comics and seeing what it is they do well, like analyzing it.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, that's what we'll do here in just a sec.
Oh, okay,
We'll do
okay.
with the comedy clip. We'll see if I
Who are we
can
gonna
do
listen
it
to?
there. The one you sent, you
Oh,
fucking
okay. I was
dope.
pretending like I didn't know.
Oh, damn
I thought,
it!
oh,
Come
it's
on,
okay.
you're supposed to be the Andy Richter to my
Oh,
Conan
yeah, I know.
O'Brien.
Well, that'll take some practice. You know what I mean?
Yes, no
Although
worries,
Andy
no
Richter's
worries.
kind of a fuck up too, so I think I could do that.
Is he?
No, I guess he's not. He's a great man.
Yeah. Now you get that Andy Richter controls the universe. That was a funny fucking show.
Ah, what was that?
Andy Richter controls the universe on
Was
Fox.
he in it?
Of course he was. Yeah. He was the main character. But,
I didn't know that. I thought it might have been a play on words or something.
Oh yeah, no, it was him.
I like Andy Richter. He's fine. I like that one bit. Well, we should have shown that one, but one where Norm Macdonald was like on there, and he was like, Andy's, well, he's obviously gay,
Oh, is he? I didn't know.
And then he was like, no, he's not. He's not. Andy's not gay. And then he's like, oh, I thought you were gay. And then he just kept doing it,
Oh, is that Norm? Is that Norm doing it?
And then Andy at first was upset, but then he doesn't. Then Andy starts to figure out that he's supposed to play along with it,
Oh, that's dude. So Norm's your favorite comic, right? Would you say he's your favorite?
Favorite? Yeah, he's my favorite, I guess. I would have to say if I have to pick a favorite.
And for who you emulate,
you definitely I don't really feel like I emulate him, but there's definitely some influence there from listening to him, and
you don't do the cadence, but you definitely have like the out in left field type of thing.
Sure, yeah.
And I'll say for first impression of how I met you, it was at Town Pub.
Town Pub,
good old Town Pub. R.I.P.
Yeah, I loved it there.
But I remember seeing you a few times, being a one-liner guy. I had an impression of you where I was like, you seemed kind of not like in a spectrum way, but just kind of on a slower side of things. Like you kind of be like, your timing you'd pause.
Oh yeah,
you didn't care about silence, which I respected. I was like, this guy is just, you'll wait for it, and when you even do it, you still own it no matter what the result. And I always respected that. But having that kind of slow aspect of mind, I remember there was this joke you did. It was about astrology, and this one girl. What was it? This girl just kind of corrected you on it, and you're kind of going in this pace of being like, "Hey guys, astrology's crazy, right? Getting the stars to define you. It's something season, right, guys?" And this girl goes, "It's actually Libra season." And the way you changed yourself, you snapped out of your character, or whatever it was, like, or you just got really serious, and you go, yeah, or it's just stupid fucking sarcasm, and the whole place fucking boom. You remember that? Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah,
it was annoying to me. Showed your teeth a little bit. Sometimes it's okay to show your teeth a little bit. Like
it was deserved. Yeah,
I saw Louis C.K. was interesting because when he has certain hecklers, he doesn't go, how can I say a cute thing to shut them up? Like, and then don't want to lose the audience. You know what I mean? That kind of thought. Occasionally, if someone really annoys you, it's okay to be like, you're being annoying to the rest of everyone here and me, and I'm annoyed with you. You know what I mean? And do it real directly and everything.
No, was that?
Huh?
There was exactly that. Yeah, it was just like, but it was so good where there wasn't even. I think it literally was a you had to be there thing, because the way you were doing like this little like the Norm lean in where he's like, I'm being silly, and then this girl just tries to ruin it, take the rug out from under you, being like taking it literal.
One that's memorable to me.
Yeah,
that was the similar one, and it might have been at Town Pub also, where I said this joke about. Do you guys know what Namaste means? Because there's a Tinder where someone said Namaste, and then they were like, yeah, we know what Namaste means. They're like I'm supposed to Like I'm supposed to know that up at the balcony there's like a bunch of people
Yeah.
from India. You know what I mean? I basically the people are just so dumb. You know, it's a
Yeah.
joke. It has a mechanism to it. It's not like my knowledge. I'm not even. Why do I have to have any knowledge about what namaste means? You know, most people don't.
Right.
You know, it was just sure correcting me, and I did the same thing. I was like, oh, all right.
Wait, so they corrected you, or what do you mean?
Huh?
Wait, what was it? What was the thing?
Oh, they did the same thing where they're like, yeah, we know what namaste means. We're from India.
Oh,
You know?
okay, yeah.
And it was doing that kind of thing that
You're like, what the fuck? God,
cultural.
yeah. It's like just taking the rug out from under everything you're doing. You're just like, why? Like,
Yes.
do you think like you watch? We all watch comedy specials. It
Yes.
blows my mind.
But when you
where it's
deliver
like,
the line perfectly and everyone else in the room laughs, it's the
Yeah.
ultimate way of dealing with them because you don't have to. Everyone else is
Yeah.
like, you made a fool of yourself.
yeah,
You know,
we're
to
all on
them.
board.
And they're
It's
trying
like,
to make you be the fool and disrupt your shit, and they don't have like basic manners.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's like we're all on board, and you're the only one who isn't. So take the fucking hint. You're losing out.
Yeah, so that's a good one to learn over time into how to do that.
Yeah. Now being off script.
Yeah, you're gonna get good at that if you're not already. I know you're gonna do that. You got a good wit, so you're gonna do it. But it takes like lots of repetition. It's one thing about comedy interesting, huh? Is that it's never really mastered.
No. Comedy is never mastered. It's. I mean, I told it to a headliner, and he was kind of like, "Well, it's basically life, but it's chasing perfection, but knowing you'll never get there."
Yeah, it's nice to get there once in a while, though. You know.
Yeah,
like Comics Who Should Be Dead, I did a good 20-minute set where everything just went great, you know, and it feels good, you know.
Yeah,
feels really good.
No, that's crucial.
Just spitting fire, you know.
Hot fire.
Yeah,
of course, because you're Casey Judson.
I am Casey Judson. Yes, a great show. You got to come out to the show. There's some cool moments. We got Robbie Schrader on there. He kind of opens the show, and he's great at improv. You know.
Does he write?
I believe he does. I've seen his books where he writes stuff.
Yeah,
but he also just improvs.
Yeah, most of the stuff I hear of his, I'm like, I'm not sure if he ever writes.
He does. I've seen his notebooks with endless amounts of stuff in it.
There's some things where he just has it's like he has a word. He goes, "Hey guys, are you a crowd? Because crowds are good when good is good." And it's just the tangent thing. I have heard
stream of consciousness.
Totally.
Yes.
195%.
If you've seen him lately, I don't want to make this whole show about Robbie Schrader, but he'd like that, you know. But he has he hosts a lot at the Shanghai Room, you know, and he opens the show every time like that, cold open, just talking, and then it just starts out. Sometimes it's annoying, and then it gets rolling, and it's pretty good. Oh, what's this? Oh, this is Norm, huh?
Yeah. So
oh my God, what a surprise! I've never seen this before.
I want to see if I can. Otherwise, this is going to totally flop.
Make it large screen?
No, not make it large screen, but you might not be able to hear it. Let's see. Can you hear this?
I can hear it.
You can?
He's alive! Norm is back!
Don't make me cry. Okay, so no. With you joking there. So this is a clip you sent me, and I said, I want you to send me a clip that like you find truly funny. And I want to break it down. And obviously I'm like kind of leaning towards Norm because you're funny like him.
All right, yes.
I
picked this one because I think it's totally brilliant, and it really exemplifies part of what makes him so good. And so this is I didn't pick this just willy-nilly. This is one that I think is excellent, and it's not that well known, so that's also cool. It's not one that everybody out there has seen. You know, maybe they have, but I think it's great. It's from the time. Obviously, it says the time is right when the pandemic started. Yeah, 3 years ago. Yeah. And in case he got the information wrong, we can look up the CDC information just so they can, make sure that Norm got it accurate, because that's important. No factual nothing in Norm's stuff. It's not about facts. It's about humor. He's always about humor first, not about spitting out information, but you're right. Though they could fact check it anyways.
Yeah, unfortunately. Okay, so let's we'll play some of it, and then when it gets funny, we'll break it down if need
Okay,
be.
I'll do
All
whatever
right.
you want.
I love it.
I wasn't going to talk about the coronavirus, but on the way here, I got really ill. But I think it was because I ate a cherry pie. Like I got a cherry pie from Bristol Farms, and I ate it, and then the car was going weird, and I was like, oh. And then he turned on the radio, Jeremy, and then all the fucking news was like, the guy was like, well, there's been so far 11 cases, 50, 200. I don't feel good. You know, you're like, oh, this is not good.
That's so, it's so interesting how he can know that's gonna work.
Yes.
You ever,
Genius.
it is,
It is
in the
true
way.
genius, because someone actually might say right at that time, the last thing you should do is mention the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Right? And no one's going to laugh at that. And
Yeah.
he's like, I have no choice but to talk about it. What else am I going to talk about? The whole room and then himself, everyone's worried about it. And he just knows how to turn it into gold, man. You know,
He
that
knows.
joke is about, that joke is what it was actually at that time, how fast the thing was expanding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You couldn't even finish your sentence and there'd be more illness, more, it was awful, you know? And it's a great landmark of the time of that, you know?
And it's 100% norm to just be like, yeah, and I was had a whole cherry pie. You're just like, what?
Yes.
Like, and it works. It's just funny. You would just go, God, it's like he knows. He goes, I know the crowd knows how weird I am. Let me just throw in a cherry pie.
That's the key, actually, to comedy in a lot of ways, is your outlook is actually weird, and then you bring it up there, and then you make other people go, oh, okay, I like his weird, you know, and then that's what makes it click in their head that you're someone different, you know. You got to have some weirdness and be proud of the weirdness, you know. You know what I mean, or something like that. At least that's what I think, anyways.
Yeah. All right, here, let's continue that.
He was fearless guy, you know.
I feel like I'm in a fucking middle of a Stephen King novel or something. What is this? So my plan is just to not die. Survive long enough.
Shit.
Where they find a cure. Some people will have to die. But finally they'll find a cure for me.
That hurts.
And then I'll thank all. It's funny how Big Pharma is so evil till now.
That hasn't aged well.
Yeah, that's really rough. That part is really rough. You can't really laugh at that with the results to which followed.
No, because he didn't know at the time. Everyone was just like everyone else, you know. They don't know.
No. I mean, this whole time he knew he had cancer.
Yeah, that's right. He did. Yeah,
that's what's so fucking crazy.
That's kind of what he was talking about as far as cures.
He right. Maybe they found a cure. Right.
It's probably also he was actually not as worried about coronavirus because he already knows what he's got. You know.
Yeah, he's like, right.
That's why he's pretending to making jokes about it, but I don't think he's that worried. But it had to be like worse though. You're like already got cancer, now you gotta worry about this thing, you know.
Yeah.
You know. But he went out and performed in front of these people. But that's funny. He was joking about backing away from the crowd a little bit more.
Yeah. Let's see this. Let's see more of this.
The whole thing's good.
It's like, was it $200 a pill? Yeah, that's good. That's fine. I'll take it. Give me all you got. But now I'm sniffling, and I don't know what that is. Could be the cocaine, I guess. I'm so nervous about this goddamn, and so I take cocaine, you know. And then that makes the anxiety even more crippling. It's funny that we all now know how we're going to die. It's just a matter of what order at this point. I went to the Costco and the fucking everybody trying to buy shit and everything, like the end of the world. And I'm like, anything? And they go, you got to make yours. I'm like, I don't know how to make Purell. Oh, I can't touch my fucking face.
Remember that?
Can't touch your
Remember the
face.
good old days?
Can't touch your face.
Yeah, remember that? It's hard. You almost forget because it's like, oh yeah, no one says that anymore. But that was the thing.
Yeah.
Remember? Don't touch
I mean,
your face.
Don't
That was
don't
real. That
stand
was
up.
the real thing.
You
Huh?
can't. Yeah, I mean, it's this is all just gonna be such. This is gonna be a part of history that we look back and go, what was that about? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you could sit down and take your mask off. You had to put it on when you stood up. Like there
Oh
was
yeah, man.
a
All kinds of dumb
slog
shit.
that did it, and it's just
ridiculous dumb shit.
It's just insane, man. It's just insane. And looking at it now, where it's like, dude, the conspiracies are right. It's not conspiracy theory anymore. It's crazy. Like how much it's all being compromised of just like what they wanted to do. Like it's just.
I'm glad you feel that way. A lot of people still don't.
Dude, I
you know
mean,
what I mean? A lot of people still
weird.
don't, and they're, you know what I mean? They're not paying attention.
It's
you know what I mean?
right.
I keep telling people, I go, well, I guess you don't read anything. You know, there's a lot of good info out there. You just have to. You're not going to get it from looking at the most easily available sources. But if you look and you know, there are shows, there are people, there are doctors, there are all kinds of people who really buckled down and looked into this stuff. And,
it's just crazy what things people ignore, and now we're realizing that like the sources that everyone's hearing it from are compromised. It's all came out where it's like they paid people to spread the information they wanted and paid certain people to censor the information they wanted. That's out there.
Yeah, that is true, man. They did that. You're correct.
Yeah.
And they're trying to bring it back again, you know?
Yeah.
And
COVID vaccines
at a certain point,
we're
gonna have to stop noticing stuff and do stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like raiding the Capitol or anything like that, but just refusing to do stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't just refusing to go along with it, you know? So.
Well, you know what I just don't get is like now Russell Brand is being attacked, and it's like,
yes, sir, yes.
What's what is weird is people have this one frame mindset for what is convenient, and what I mean is like where we go, everybody's going, we don't trust the government. Taking a consensus, no one's really like they have our best interest in mind. By now,
right, yeah.
They don't have best interest.
Nobody really says that. Hey, those guys seem completely trustworthy all the time. Yeah.
But it's like we don't trust CNN, we don't trust this. But then CNN comes out and goes, Russell Brand raped 2 girls or did some sexual assault on 2 women.
Yeah.
But then they go, oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't believe he did that. It's like, wait. They've been saying questionable shit the whole time, and he's the one exposing you, and they're trying to get him. Do you
watch his show much?
I see clips. I've never really watched like the full podcast.
Yeah, man, honestly, I do a lot of that too. I do a lot of that where I watch.
Honestly, it's hard. It's hard.
But not the
it's
whole
hard.
show.
It's hard for me to listen to him talk. Like, I mean, it's a really.
I was thinking the same thing. It's true. He's just so intense.
He's inquisitive while being fast. Great. And honestly, dude, like I feel like I'm on cocaine when I'm listening to him.
I agree with you.
He's inevitably the inquisitive mind. It goes in the CEC, and you're just like.
He's very quick. He's very quick. It's intense. It's too intense.
But
he speaks the truth, I think, you know?
He does. No, he does. And when you can really get
Hello, you awakening wonders.
Oh, God. Yeah, a little too happy as well.
Fair enough. It's not as far as talking about something that serious, it's hard to do it. But he says some great things. He says some great stuff. And he doesn't have any fear as far as who he's exposing and that kind of thing.
No,
you know what I mean. You just go, and they struck him down, man. I'll see how it sorts out.
Yeah, they're striking him down. I mean, hopefully,
I want to go right away and say I don't believe at all. I don't believe at all any of the things they're saying.
Yeah,
And
it's
another thing is I want to add, it's very going to be kind of controversial, but it might come along. It might be helpful, because what they'll try to do is say, are you saying he never did nothing?
Yeah.
And then you're going, well, I want to back him up, so I want to say he never did nothing. I would go, I don't really care that much what things people did when they were a drug addict and being like a young guy who's just wants to have sex all the time, and you know what I mean, a party guy, and you're lost in the haze of drugs, and so it doesn't take 15 years to report a serious crime.
Mm-hmm.
And at a certain point I go, if you can't report a crime, you know what I mean, I'm just not, I just don't believe them. So that's the way it is. So and it's like the timing of it, it's just it's just too obvious.
The timing is too obvious.
Yes,
that's
sir.
what it is.
Yeah.
And if they are victims, here's the middle ground. If he sexually assaulted somebody, what is that? Why are you deplatforming somebody for sexual assault? Put him in jail and give him a podcast. How about that? If he really is guilty, if there is 100% evidence, I just don't get the like.
Well, that's the main thing, actually, Pete, is that you can't accuse someone and then take shit from them.
It's the perfect crime.
I want to do it. I actually want to do it.
You want to do what?
Go, I don't like what you said, and now I get to own your car now.
But right.
I mean, your car is mine because what you said is offensive, and I was hurt by it, and now I own your belongings. Is that cool?
You sexually assaulted somebody, so that means that and without true backing, just word of mouth, I get your car.
Anyways, you should listen to James Lindsay. I recommend you listen to his thing on YouTube.
Let's finish out this clip.
Okay.
Finish out this clip,
Is when washing your hands didn't take 3 hours. Like ABCD. Just take me now.
Take me now. And they did.
Sorry. The mind never wanders too far from, like I'll be talking about all kinds of horse shit up here tonight, but every moment I'll be thinking of this disease. Just to let you know. Getting away from you guys a little bit more. But it comes at a good time, this where we're all quarantined, because we don't have to live like that, right? We got our fucking magic phones and computers and everything. We don't need no fucking people.
Well, this is a great line.
Last step between us and happiness anyway, we're people.
That's a funny line.
TV and shit. Fucking more interesting people than anybody I know.
Seems very CDC appropriate. It's like, it's just like, no, screw people. Let's just
spend my last moments.
No, he's actually kind of poking fun at it. He's actually.
No, right, that's what I mean.
Nothing he says is actually direct. It's like commenting on how comfortable we are to even go along with this shit.
Yeah.
You know
that's what I mean. Is like it's something that's perfect to be like, it's drone like he's talking about. We're just like, I just want to be away from you guys and stare at my phone all day. Yeah.
There's a part of you that is like that there's a part of us that is like that, because life
100%.
Is, that is complicated, and it's nice to just be at home where it's quiet. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a certain truth to it, but obviously it doesn't, you want to get out of the house just as bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? After you've done it long enough. So it's like a balance. We want to be away from people, and then we want to go out, especially as your comics, you obviously got to like people a little bit, or you can't even do it,
Yeah.
But everybody's got their own limit of what they can handle. You know what I mean? Some people like to be out every night. Some people don't want to do it. You know what I mean? So that's an interesting part of comedy too,
Oh yeah. Having to go out and not drink, but just do something and then try to hang out and be yourself.
And Norm, apparently in his later years, or even, I don't even know how long, I don't really know him personally, but a lot of people talked about him. They would say that they always want to hang out with him. And then he's hard to get to go out, it's like, so when he finally goes out, it's like a special thing, you know what I mean? So you don't wear out your welcome, or people are sick of you, they're always like,
And that sucks too, because it's like we didn't get enough of him. And what that even means is it's all subjective on, like, it's like when someone dies, no matter what, your mom, your friends, your family, comedians you love, you go, God, could you have just not, but no matter what someone does, you go, could you have not just had one more album or one more? We always want a little bit more from him.
Sure, yeah, of course.
Bummer.
That's the bad thing when you lose someone you like,
It's a bummer. All right, let's try to finish this out.
Yeah, that's all. Where everyone's sad now
I
listening
can
now.
taste the baby laxative in this fucking cocaine. Rolling down the back of my throat. Damn.
I don't even think he does cocaine. It's all made up.
Yeah.
But I'm old anyway, so if I die, it won't be as much of a tragedy. I'm 68 years young, I like to say.
It's a lie, too.
Yeah, I was like, was he that old?
He just liked to lie. It's fun.
Yeah. You get old and you start worrying anyway, Forget the coronavirus, like that's possible. I said I wasn't going to mention it. I was tired of this.
I just looked at his age. He died at 61.
Oh, yeah?
He died at 60. He's like, I'm 68 years young.
Yeah. No, he would sell a different one each time. He just likes to mess with people's heads. Is what he likes. He likes to mess with people's heads.
Okay, let's finish this out. It's just so fucking funny.
Coronavirus. They come here to not hear about the coronavirus. I'm like, yeah, that's true. But it was a good idea you made. It was a good choice tonight to come out and sit beside total strangers.
Thank you.
I'll be here.
Thank you.
I can run,
Exactly.
Point out the fucking hypocrisy of it all.
When I see it.
They needed to get out. At a certain point, they were like, I don't care, man. I got to get out.
Yeah. Point out
I
the
can't remember
hypocrisy
exactly when
of
this
that.
came out. It must have been exactly when they started letting people out again.
Yeah.
Or the front. But I remember when I saw this clip, it was on. I was like, oh, shit. This shit is genius.
Yeah.
Perfect comedy for the time,
And just, just finishing off with a little hypocrisy of that.
He's just another guy trying to figure it out and understand it, without saying something that's going to get everyone on his case, So he's just, it's all humor,
I'm coughing. I think I got
so
some
he
corona.
turned it into what a genius comic is whatever it is, you make a funny angle. And, and I don't think that was a polished set at all.
Yeah.
I think that's him getting up there and doing
chilling,
a little riffing with a few jokes he wrote.
Oh,
you can tell the pauses,
Yeah, that was like concepts to try on my phone. Like that was in a professional way.
Yeah, but he really made it happen.
Tighter, yeah, for sure.
And everyone's getting a real laugh, because they're like, he's talking about the thing, that everyone's on everyone's mind.
I just want to say, as far as just putting it to rest, as far as Russell Brand goes, if he really did do some sort of crime, some Bill Cosby-esque crime of like, assaulting women as like a constant basis, that does deserve jail time. It's just
one thing I'll say as evidence, is that I saw a clip of the people making the accusation, like speaking out of their mouths, not just written. I saw them saying, and then he pushed me against the wall, and then he shoved his Johnson down my throat, and I just go, nope. I can tell when people are lying. And I go, that's very visceral, raw thing you're saying. That must have been very painful when you accuse someone of. That's not like date rape. That's like accusing someone of aggravated rape, like they're a real monster. Like they grabbed you and threw you and they made you, that thing. And I go, no, you go the next day to the cops, and you know what I mean. You take, you go report that to the police. In fact, just an interesting thing. You're gonna get in trouble with women, but I don't care. I'm might die, so I don't have to be scared. But I go, it's your responsibility to report it to the police.
Yeah.
You understand? So if someone steals my car and I go, oh, well, they stole my car, and then they go on a spree of stealing, you know what I mean? It's your responsibility as a citizen to call the cops and report somebody so they don't do it to other people. You know what I mean? But that's a kind of there's reasons why that's left out of the equation, because it's actually about bringing someone down. That's
It's
actually the whole
unfortunate.
reason.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because not being a female, like I guess with the Bill Cosby thing being true, that is one thing that kind of goes against that, where it took a few women for them to be comfortable to come out and say, that actually happened, and then it went from 2 people to like 72 people,
Yeah.
and that's where it's like it's a weird thing about that type of crime where they're too afraid to say it, and then over time it comes out. So it's a part where I guess I understand
Sure.
in
Yeah.
that only way, but otherwise what you're saying does make logical sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tricky one there, I guess.
It is. That's
It
what's
is
so
tricky.
fucked up. It's tricky. You wish it was a 1 + 1 = 2, some sort of equation that just mathed out the way it does. You're right in a logical
I don't
sense.
think anybody should get caught lying about stuff like that, and that that's a serious thing. You should never, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's thrown around a little bit too much in my view.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I think women
yeah.
should actually be the ones who are mad because it makes them look bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It makes
For not coming out sooner.
normal women, it makes them look bad when someone makes up an allegation or uses it as a weapon, like they say. Everyone's talking about weaponization now, but that's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for somebody that big though, it's like, I don't know, when you're exposing so much of what you're doing, it's like you're saying though, it's just like so it just smells.
suspicious. It's
It
suspect.
just smells. It just smells very, very
smells.
funny. It's a smell of corruption when he's
We're not
things to light.
sophisticated enough to understand the level of duplicity that some people have when it comes to politics and things like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't identify with the idea that you would do certain things because we're just people. We're just regular people who try to treat people good. You know what I mean? And that's all we can relate to. But you got to keep your eyes open for there's some wicked people.
Yeah.
Anyways,
weird time.
Yeah, I hope he comes through it okay and something good happens.
Yeah.
Or it gets sorted out or whatever.
Right. For anybody who's trying to just entertain the world.
Yeah, and then again, I don't know the guy
unfortunate.
either, so you have to say
Right.
that.
Yeah,
I don't know the guy. You just feel like you know the guy, but you don't.
That is what's crazy is when someone casts themselves out on the weekly basis doing something so good, it does make it harder to imagine. But then the other side of it is women go, or anybody against him, to go, well, that's how crazy or how bad of a guy he is that he can switch those sides.
Yeah, well, that's just their opinion too. So.
Yep.
You know what I
mean? Something I
see what you want to see.
Yeah.
People see what they want to see. Then there is an element of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Something I want to know about you too. Taking a totally different.
My rape allegations. Those are categorically. Sorry, just kidding. There hasn't been any that I know of. Don't give anybody any ideas.
You know what? If any traction happens from this, it just means I'm getting popular. But that will be the try.
This will be the banned episode. It'll be out.
The band Casey should be banned. Comics you should be banned, starring Casey Judson.
I love ladies. We like to have as many as possible on our show, and
I love women.
I'm not a big woke neo-Marxist person. You know what I mean? That was what they go, you need to have this amount of black people and women on. And I go, well, luckily I don't have to be woke to like black people and women. I can do that on my own without it. So I go, we should always put black people and women on all the time because I always like them anyways.
Right.
So in other words, I don't need to do it to fill some quotas or anything like that. It's just not a problem for me. It never was a problem. So
yeah. Have you been getting any backlash for that?
No, not at all, because we put we always have women on, and the next show has we were gonna have 3 of the 6 people be black guys on. Jason picked the people this time, and I was like, cool. And then one guy backed out because his wife didn't want him to be in a show with dead in it. But 2 of the
so that's one of them.
Yeah,
it was one of those.
He's a good guy. I like him. I don't want to call his name out or nothing.
You don't. Yeah. No. That's just funny where it's just like. Yeah, just imagine like you're trying to make some woke quota and one of the guys backs out because the wife didn't like the name. You're like, shit, I got outwoked because the
Yeah.
wife didn't want the name.
Well, we even talked to
But
each
now we don't
other
have black
about do we
comic.
replace him with another black guy? And then I was like, okay, that's going too much. I don't want to do
Yeah.
that. I don't want to
Right.
play the game like that. I don't want to do that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want to do 6 white guys, there's a lot of white guys. I don't
Yeah.
know if you know in life, there's 72% of people are white, so you're gonna get a lot of white people on a thing, you
Yeah.
know. And I happen to like white people. I don't share any of the beliefs about any of that shit. So that's just where everyone knows where I'm coming from. I don't have a problem with any people. I like
I'm
all.
so politically correct that I don't like them. Yeah.
I
It's
get
been-
it. It's not
It's
popular.
been helping me get booked. No. But so again, listen, I want to ask you about that I'm very interested in is
Yeah.
your poker life.
Oh, poker.
Playing poker.
Yeah, man, I played a lot. I haven't been playing lately though. I've been
Wasn't
thinking
that-
about it though. I've been getting the urge again. But yes, I used to.
Wasn't that your main source of income for a while?
Yes, it was.
Dude,
Yes.
that's fucking
I
that
had
is
a-
crazy.
Yeah, I had
Crazy to me.
an illness, and I couldn't leave the house. And the only way I could get out was to have my girlfriend drop me off at a poker place, and I had to not lose all the money that I brought in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah,
So it
that's the
forced
goal.
me to play a different style because I wanted to be out.
Mhm.
And so that actually made me play good. And then after that, for about 2 years, I played often and did really well.
Okay.
But it does tax your energy levels and things like that. But it was good. I charted how much I made and how well I did, and you know what I mean. And I still have it as a skill now. I can always sit down any table anywhere I go and have a good chance to do well.
Like,
play?
what's the highest stakes you've done? I very seldomly. I've done a few tournaments, but otherwise, kind of seldomly.
I've played No Limit Hold'em.
Yeah.
Where true No Limit Hold'em, where you can lose if you got $400 in front of you, you could lose all of that in one hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you could put it all in and win 1,200. You know what I mean?
What's the highest buy-in you've ever done?
Oh, highest buy-in. I think I played a tournament for $500.
Okay.
But I've cashed out 2,000 or 3,000 before, so I'm not a super high stakes player, but that's pretty big.
I mean, that feel good. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought
great,
a car
yeah.
with money I won once at a casino I was playing at. You know what I mean? Yes, I bought a used car, $1,500. You know.
That interests me so much. I'm pretty good with poker. I'm really good at reading people, and I know when to bluff, but otherwise I'm pretty basic. I guess where the
Have you
cards
played
fly.
No Limit Hold'em?
No.
Oh, you
No.
haven't? Because you try
No,
to play for like a limit where you do like 20 bet 20 at a time.
I've only done tournaments.
Oh, okay. Tournaments, yes. I've won quite a few tournaments, but I've never won a really gigantic one.
Yeah.
There's the level I'm at. I've won, 1,000 or a little more, but every time I've entered one that's like 500 entry, and if you win, you get 10,000 or 20,000. I haven't been able to pull through and win one big one like that.
Yeah. Do you do online or in person?
I used to do online years ago. Now it's not legal now.
Right.
I used to do it, and then I was just someone trying to play poker. You know what I mean? So I'd have good days and bad days.
Yeah.
And then it took years later is when you get good at it. Reasonably good at it. I moved to Las Vegas to try to gamble way before I was ready to do that, because I was just winning here, and in Las Vegas it's a whole other game. They're so good,
Yeah, it's probably like, can you spot a good player?
Sure, yeah, you can spot a good player.
What are the like looks like? I mean, there obviously you're just like, shit, everyone's got that look.
In No Limit, it's really interesting because that's like the real high fly act, because someone could just have, go all in, and then boom, you're on a decision there. You got to go, oh, well, I think he might be lying, but then that's $400, you know what I mean? Or $500 you got to call. That's a whole nother ball game,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're like, oh, I could lose. So you definitely want to, a good player doesn't really care that much if they lose.
Right.
Meaning that they can't appear as though they care. In other words, the money can't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you can't play for any money you can't. I don't even think it's possible to play well for money that would hurt you if you lost.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you have, I actually saw an equation I read in a book, which is whatever your bankroll is, you should play for 1/20th of the bankroll.
Oh, okay. Okay. I've heard
So
10%.
if you have
So 5%.
$1,000, that means your bankroll, that's your entire amount of money you can play poker with for like a month or something. That's a bankroll. It means it's like, that's all poker money.
Right.
So
right.
if you have
Yeah.
1,000, that means you play for $50.
Yeah.
$50 is what you could lose that day and be able to still, you have to be able to play the next day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So in other words, you lost 50, that's okay. That's no big deal. You know
that's what I do when I go to the casino. That's what I basically take is like, I go, this is money that's gone. I want to win with it, but it's to me, it's gone. And then I also go, okay, if I make $500 tonight, that's it. I'm out.
Right.
I'm out. Well, actually, no. Actually, I'll go. If I get to 600, I'll go to 5, and then I'm out. That's
a good way to do it. And another thing you can do if you're looking for pointers is one thing you can do is you can cash out, get up from the table, cash out, go do something, and then get your name back on the board again. That means you've taken that money off the table.
Yeah.
You could still lose it later, but you can, you know what I mean? You buy in again for 200 and you have 400, it's in your pocket. It's good. And you know what I mean? Don't sit there. Anytime you're sitting there at the table, you could lose it. So it's always anytime, you already know that, just any casino rule, anytime you win, you should consider not stopping. You should at least consider it,
Yeah. No, you know what I've heard too is that I've heard if you win a big hand and leave immediately, you're an asshole, and some people get jumped. And some people get jumped for that.
Don't worry about that. They'll tease you a little bit, but it's in America, the civilized place with security. They're not going to do nothing. But you're right, though. They will look at you funny.
I was reading on Reddit about how some people got jumped for doing that.
Oh, wow. I guess it could happen. But, depends on where you're at. Like in this country, depends on where you're playing, But if you're at a reputable place, nothing's going to happen to you. So, I think they'll even help you get out to your car, too,
Yeah, well, I would be like, for sure. Oh yeah, no. When I have money, when I have a lot of money, when I leave the casino a lot of money, I'm watching my back. I'm like, do I recognize somebody who's still in my peripheral as I'm walking to the door? I'll be like, yeah, no.
Oh sure, there's gonna be some people.
That's only happened twice though.
Oh, where you noticed them? Them?
Well, no. When I've actually thought like that, when I when I left the casino with like $900 more than I came with, or whatever.
You look around a little bit. A little bit.
Hopefully not too much. To be like, oh, it's like, oh, that guy has a lot of money. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting.
So like what's have you played with anybody good, or have you any like bad beat stories?
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking of bad beat stories. If you play long enough, you're gonna have some terrible stories. Yeah. I remember when I was grinding, playing. I wasn't playing No Limit. I was playing like they're called spread games. This is probably what you've played, right? Where the max bet is 40, and then the guy can raise over you $40 more.
Oh,
so he can raise to 80, and then another guy can raise to 120. But they're in increments, right? No Limit is I bet $40. The next guy can go, I bet $700 or whatever he's got in front of him. So that's No Limit. But in spread games, you're doing it so you could not lose so fast, or you thought it was so you could. Anyway, I played all night. I used to play all night, as long as I could, and I think I was up $500, $600, which is hard in a spread game to be up that far. And then I was like, okay, in my head, I was like, okay, I'm about to leave. I'm going to leave in 2 more hands. And then I get a pair of kings, and then I go all the way to the river, lose like $300 of the 600 on this pair of kings. And then I'm kind of bummed out about it. And then you just sit there, and then the next hand is a pair of kings. And it's the exact same thing happened again. 2 consecutive hands with a pair of kings, which is the second best hand in poker. And the guy stayed all the way to the river and went on a straight, I think I had a set of kings, and he beat it. And then I lost 240, and I was like, wow, that was absolutely miserable. I lost the whole entire 7 hours of playing. I lost all of it on 2 consecutive hands.
So
At that time, it was painful, but now I
yeah,
laugh at it because now I'm like, I never would put myself in that spot. If I thought
yeah.
I had a lead or I needed that money, there's no way I would sit there. I wouldn't even want to see a good hand because of course you're gonna want to play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who's
So
gonna go? Oh, I fold my kings. I will now. I don't care. That's
so
the
when
thing. I'll
you
fold the kings. I don't even give a shit. I'll be like, I'm out of here.
yeah. So when you
I probably wouldn't fold two kings,
no, yeah,
but
no,
I
you're
would
good.
get up. I would get
Yeah.
the fuck up.
So like when you have those sort of bad beats, like I mean, he doesn't that make you did you ever get to a point where you're like, I don't think this is for me? Like when you if you keep having bad beats, do you just go, if I'm having this many bad beats, my next time of comeuppance is going to happen, or like I mean that's
Try to think in
sometimes.
terms of uh, exactly like comedy,
Mhm.
because comedy, you ever meet anybody who it's always the crowd's fault? You know what I mean? The reason
Yeah.
why you did bad, it's always the crowd's fault.
Oh, is that supposed to be the cards? The cards are the crowd in this metaphor. It's always like
It's always you first, what you did,
Mhm.
because there's bad beats that happen, but some people fake, they in their head they make it like it was a bad beat and they really played the hand incorrectly. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So like there's times when you raise and you want people to get out and you settle for winning a smaller amount.
mhm.
You know what I mean? And if you don't, they're going to draw cards and you're going to get cards drawn out on you. So you
Yeah,
got to keep that in mind, that you're like, oh, okay, I'll lure them in later and I'll just keep drawing them in. And they go, well, you're going to get what you want. They're going to stay in.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
so that's an interesting part of poker, is that I still don't understand it. I listen to like uh, Annie Duke's great book and she talks about that, but it's like, there's time. It's a very complex game as far as when you should be raising, when you should be letting people come back in, stay in the hand and then bet it on the river, and
Yeah.
force them out. But it's very much, you should always be thinking of what you could have done to do better than the hand, because the game
Yeah,
will really whoop your ass if you play it wrong.
yeah. No, the
And then people
mistakes
are
you
like
make.
always losers. They're always like, I'm always so snake bit, and it
Mhm.
just don't. They're not really. They're not good players a lot of the time. But
Yeah,
bad beats will happen to you, and they will suck.
mhm. Yeah. The mistakes I've made the most is when I have a good hand on the board right away, but
Yeah,
I'm oblivious to the straight or the flush or the flush draw that's on the board,
sure.
and
Yeah,
eliminating what could be there. Where it's like you watch on like a poker stream where you're like, okay, it's pretty obvious you got it there, but when you're in the hand, you're like, I got fucking aces, and there is fucking 6-3-2. This is looking money. This is looking money, and then you're like, well, what if they got 4-5? You motherfucker. And yeah, like there's
yes,
just little things that you're kind of oblivious to, that when you're in the hand, you're thinking about your chips, the chips you put in to lure them in. Little do they know they're slow playing you, and you're like, fuck. And those are the worst feelings. And really the best skill that you learn from that is like act like you don't care. As long as you still have chips, you're
right.
just like, okay, yeah. And then in your head, you're just like, you fucking idiot.
I discovered
Really?
I played for a long time where I only wanted to play the top 5 hands, and I wanted to have my advantage be patience.
Mm,
And the problem with that is everybody knows what you have.
yeah.
Think about
Yeah.
that. They know what kind of player you are, because that's an obvious kind of player.
Right. The one who only plays the good hands. Yeah, yeah.
Right. I don't want to be the one who's drawing on a hand, but if you have ace king of spades,
Yeah.
you're drawing on a hand that can't be beat. So that's the ideal. You want to be drawing on a hand that can't be beat, because even a pair of aces is a good hand, but you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you said, it can get beat. So
Get cracked.
you
Yeah.
learn your lesson. If you don't know when you're beat, they call that a donkey. You heard that
Right.
term donkey? A lot of
Yeah.
people think
Yeah.
it just means generally a bad player. It
Yeah.
means someone who doesn't know their beat.
Mm,
That's actually what it means. If you look it
okay.
up, most people don't know that. They think it means someone who sucks at poker. They go, no, it means someone who's like, they just keep calling and they think their hand's still good after they just don't have the instinct to know that they're
Hmm.
beat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once in a while, you got to know your beat. So, because that's where you lose all the money, all of your advantage is you give it away if you just think your hand's good when it's not.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
if you stay in a game, if you plan on staying in a game long enough, what I try to do is I try to bluff at a low value hand, like a hand that doesn't have much chips, but something like I want to get that out there that I bluff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like to just put it out there. Like if I for the lowest value, if I know I'm fucked, and if I get the bluff through, great. But something that just doesn't make sense to them for the
Yeah,
lowest
sure.
value, I'll be like, this is a super low value. I'll go in on this and just just
Right.
put out that character feature of myself, just to be
Yeah,
like,
I was at a game one time in Auburn at the, what do you call it? Muckleshoots.
hmm,
I always get Muckleshoot and Tulalip confused for some reason. Tulalip is up north, Muckleshoot's down in Auburn.
yeah, location way different.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always still get it confused. But anyway, I was in Muckleshoot and I was playing, and the one guy was like, "Well, you know, you don't have to have a good hand to play." And I go, "Rarely does someone tell you what your image is."
Yeah.
Because I was like, wow, that's excellent, because essentially I'm someone who always plays a good hand.
Yeah,
But
they
if
let you know
someone
that.
else thinks you're someone who doesn't, like that was
Mhm.
his impression of me. Because
Yeah.
I showed, like you just said, you showed him enough times that you mix it up, and that sticks in their head. And so now you kind of got the guy really, because he thinks you're someone who will bluff with nothing. And man, you can get him on a really big mistake, because you'll
Mhm.
have a full house and he'll think you have nothing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So if you got them in their head like that, then they tell you that. That means you've done good. You actually made them think you're a different kind of player than you are. And then you can
Was he
steal
right?
pots. You can steal pots. You can
Yeah.
do all kinds of stuff. You know?
Was the guy right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You guess you're right.
He's wrong actually, because I'm the kind of guy who always wants to have a good hand. You know what I mean? But you don't want them to know that though, so you have to mix it up to provide trickery. You know,
Mhm.
and you know, it's all tricking. You know, it's all mental mind games. You know,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you really can't. I tried it. You can't sit there and wait for hands. It's just too taxing on you and boring. You know, it's like boring.
Mhm.
You know what I mean. I like to wait and be patient, but you got to also just be like, once in a while. Once in a while, that's the key. Just once in a while, you just go, I have a 2-5. I'll just play the 2-5, because you get like a bonus if you win with that.
Yeah.
It's like it has an impacts. It helps things. You know. But obviously, you're right. You don't want to do it, you know, for a big pot.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna try to do it a little bit and make sure they see it. You know, that kind of
Yep,
thing.
yep, yep.
Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. They go, okay,
yeah,
he's that character. Put the
yeah,
little character
exactly. Yeah,
feature to you.
yeah. It
So
kind
I
of
have
makes me want to play again, man.
he
I haven't
in
been
the
playing.
it's
I don't know. I don't know how long it's been. You know, Andy Harder, the comic.
yeah.
Yeah, Andy is always like he's a guy who likes. You know, a lot of comics like odd jobs. You know, like they don't want
Mhm.
to do a 9 to 5. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
part of the reason why people would do comics. They thought they'd get big and they wouldn't have to go do a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So he's like wants to, gambling always appeals to also to comics a lot, because that's the dream, right?
For
You can just
sure.
play cards, you know.
Do
And
comedy, play cards, that's the fucking life.
yeah, and I could only do it because my girlfriend has a great job. You know, that's
There you
part
go.
of it. You know, you have that background support that you could, you know, you
Fall
could
back on. You can
go
fall
play
back on,
cards and
yeah.
lose a little bit, and you could try it out. You know.
Yeah. Still have
You know,
waffles for
it's
dinner.
not the same when you're paying your rent and bills and everything with it. It's still, you could be, guys do it, but
Yeah.
you know, I didn't ever do that. But I made a good solid living. I think I out earned her one year.
That's hot.
Yeah, it was hot. It was good.
So I have a question for you. So like I've only done tournaments, but I do want to go to poker room and
Oh,
try it
okay.
out. Like, what would be your suggestion for someone like me? Like, how much, because I don't want to be the guy who brings the minimum, like it's $200 minimum, because then they're like, you're a sucker, right? If I saw someone bringing in,
Oh,
like
right.
what would you suggest, like me going in? And one thing I heard too, just the two factors there. One is I'm not sure to bring the minimum, because that sounds like I look like a fucking newbie, which I am. But also I heard 1-2, the Annie bet or whatever is like
Oh,
a total like all in game. Like it goes from one to all in really quickly.
no, I recommend you just play no limit. Just bite the bullet. Play no limit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know any other way. I don't. It's like it's not pure poker. You know, it's like pure poker is like just like you're playing the tournament, but with cash.
Well,
Tournament, you go all in. That's
right.
I mean?
I guess it'd be
you
no
play it,
limit.
but you play it
Yeah.
for an amount you can afford.
Yeah.
And eventually you'll sharpen your instincts at it, and you'll develop like a style of play.
Yeah.
Like if you just make sure it's money that you can lose. You know what I mean? Even if it's 200, 200's an okay buy-in. That's a normal buy-in for a no limit game.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll be some guys sitting there that have $600 or $700, and they'll try to bully you around by raising you all in because you're afraid to lose your 200. You're not going to be able to stingy not lose your 200. You know what I mean? That kind of game. That's the thing the thing you want to do when you're playing a spread game is you're like, I don't want to lose it all right away. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the thing. But you can also double it right away too. And then once you start doing that, you're gonna really like it. You're gonna go. And I remember when I started playing No Limit, I counted how much I won at spread games and No Limit. I actually went, I win more per hour at No Limit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I counted that. I was like, okay, so it lops off your wins when you have a big hand, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, but so like I'm looking at the like the poker tables like kind of nearby me where it's saying like what's available. So there's like
where you live at?
Renton.
Oh, okay, yeah, you got the what's the place down there?
Fortune.
Yeah, the Fortune. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, so it's
poker mecca. They got every game there.
So it's 1, 3, and 3, 5 for No Limit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so like one of my old coworkers who is a fucking boss. I mean, I'm telling you, dude, he's somebody who could tell you stories for days. Like the real, he's like Washington's Doyle Brunson, and I wouldn't say that without without working in for 3.5 years and have him tell me the craziest fucking stories ever. I will have him on here one day.
Oh, okay, cool.
Probably, hopefully sooner than later. But that
makes me want to start playing again. I want to play again. I guess get out there and play.
Yeah, no, dude, we should hit up together.
Yeah, that'd be great, man. I'd like
fucking.
That.
But so
Andy, me and you and Andy.
Oh, that'd be savage, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Or we could have a poker. We could have a comedians poker game. That'd be.
We
dope,
should.
That's been talked about for years now.
We should.
Someone talks about filming it and editing it and making it into a funny thing.
Oh yeah, no. When there was a shame when Bill Burr and Al Madrigal did that on the All Things Comedy.
Oh yeah,
YouTube channel. Yeah, they did it twice, and it's just like, where did that go? Like that's.
Oh yeah, all the shit talking would be really fun.
Oh,
amongst comics.
Oh, dude, just bluffing somebody and fucking boom. Oh yeah.
Yeah. We could play a little mini tournament if nobody wants to lose all their hard-earned money. You could actually get a thing of chips and buy in $50 or whatever the amount is you want to play. So everyone's comfortable playing for the amount, and it'd be more for the. And the one thing though with gamblers though, they have to have an amount of money. Once you become a gambler, you have to have an amount of money that interests you, or else you just can't do it.
You don't care. Yeah, you're like,
it's just not
all in. Okay.
Care. Yeah, if you're a real gambler, you have to have a risk. It has to be. There's to be a risk involved.
You don't get high. You don't get high off the usual.
Yeah,
stuff
you don't
like
get high.
Used to. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that's interesting, man. You guys at Doyle Brunson level. That's some high level shit right there.
He says that he popularized Omaha and Vegas.
Oh wow, really? Oh,
yeah, he says.
I never even played Omaha much.
I don't. I've tried to play it, and I'm just like, I don't like this.
I played at this place for years when I was doing good at poker. This place called the Hideaway on Aurora, and now it's not open anymore. But there's other Aurora joints. There's like a whole bunch of them on Aurora, But
I bet there are.
Yeah, there's one that was called the Hideaway, and then they had a cool poker game I always played, and then I would sometimes play in Omaha while I'm waiting to get in the poker game just to gamble.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it was like, okay, this is wild. It's real wild, Everyone's in all the time, It's like more action. And there was a table, and it was like I was a 25-50 spread game of Omaha, just a huge amount of money. And they said that 3 of the 9 people there were lottery winners. They had won the lottery, and they just go play poker every day. They called this guy Lottery John, and there was lottery. And I was like, why do they call him Lottery John? They go, because they actually won the Washington State lottery. And that's why they're at that big game with spreads of Oh, I lost 4,000 today. I won 7,000 today. And I always look over where everyone would always look over that table like, oh shit, that game's awesome, but I don't have the
Oh,
money to
dude.
play.
I bet the real poker players are like, that's a whale. That's a legit whale. Like, just begging to lose. Like, yeah, you have endless bags of money. Like, you're fucking, yeah. You can
Yeah.
slow
There's guys
play
who
that
own
guy.
car dealerships. There's one guy who played poker. He owned car. He'd always lose. He's real bad. You know what I mean? But he was
Perfect.
he's just an ultimate donkey.
Okay, what's up, homie? Where we at today? Yeah, I love it. Dude.
Yeah, everyone's friendly to John. They always give him up. They always want him to sit down because he's gonna lose, and he's a friendly
welcome. Yeah, yeah. Good friends.
They
That's
get
crazy.
swallowed
man.
up. They get swallowed the fuck up.
That life interests me, man. It's a very interesting life.
It is very interesting. A lot of characters and a lot of, you know what I mean? It's fascinating.
Yeah. So I want to get back to comedy, man. As far as comedy goes, what's your goal? What's your goal with comedy? Do you have an end goal? Something that I
used to, but I've had a lot of health problems in the last year, and so that's kind of changed some things. So
yeah.
I know. I don't know. I also think I think I'm at a point now where I've actually developed my style where I don't need to go do open mics all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was the thing. You want to stay sharp. You just want to keep, the ideas. You want to keep grinding, building, and working on it, making yourself good. But now I like having a show I look forward to. And in 6 days, I got a show. I got to write a set for that. And then the next one's in about a month. And, that's basically it. I just kind of want to focus on that.
Yeah.
But I want to do bigger shows. I do kind of want to do my own special. You know what I mean? And you know how you have to wait until you get to the top to do a special? I'm like, nah, you can just do your own special, man.
Yeah, if you're funny, you have 30 minutes.
You can produce it yourself, and I think enough people will come see it. You know what I mean? I can get people to come see it, depending on how big of a place how many, if it's a 50-person room or something like that, you know what I mean? I'm not a huge deal or nothing, you know what I mean? But I got to record it, maybe have it go, maybe put it out so people can watch it, and have it be really excellent, just so at the very least, if something happens to me, I'll know that I did a special. I always wanted to, like all my heroes, they did a special and it was like really good, so people said it was good, maybe make some money off of it. So that's an immediate goal. But for now, I just want to produce the show, make it grow, and expand your name, and
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it for now, But I don't think I'm gonna end up on I would like to do more, actually, I'd like to be on the Kill Tony show and go down to Austin and really just go, get my health back to where it's at, and I liked being down there. I went down there for a week and I really liked the scene and the atmosphere of it.
Yeah.
You ever been to other cities? It's fun to go to any other city and perform.
Yeah, when you're just nobody.
Yeah, I went to Arizona last year for spring training, and then I found out a mic down in Gilbert, Arizona. It's called
What were you training?
I was watching baseball games, just taking a vacation.
Yeah. No,
and then but I was also wanted to do some open mics while I was down there, and then I saw one that was called JP's. Oh, did you do a joke? Did I miss your joke?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Who was I training?
Yeah, what were you training for?
I'm the comedian who can't understand other people's jokes.
No, man, it's great.
But anyway, I went to this place, JP's. I recommend it. It's this cop guy. It's this cop and his wife who own a club. You know what I mean? Kind of like how Cub Comedy is. It's just, it's just two people owning it, so they don't want to hire employees, so they keep their money. Anyway, so the guy is the host every time, and his wife takes all the tickets and lets them in, and the place is sold out. And I watched the show. It was all sold out. Comics waiting for the open mic afterwards. And then I went up, and it's the same full crowd that was there for the whole show. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, shit, this is the best open mic I've ever been at. It's like a crowd of 100 people full. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just killed there. And I was like, I got the recording of it. And I was like, wow, man, this is awesome. I could easily come down here and do a thing here,
Yeah.
Do a spot,
Yeah, it makes you want to start over sometimes. Where you
another city.
What people have pointed out that's something important to acknowledge is like when you start somewhere, most people have seen you suck. and they kind of keep that with, you know, their interpretation of you.
Oh,
But
sure.
if you're good, once you get good and you start somewhere, then they
Yeah.
only know you as a good comic, and that might actually even, you know, it'll
Yeah.
exponentially maybe even shorten your trip and to your goal of getting a special or to get on Kill Tony or to, you know. He left. He left right in the middle of that. I had a good point. Well, I think that's the end of the podcast, I guess. Okay. Well, Casey's a good guy. I really appreciate him. He's somebody that is very interesting, and even, you know, I almost want to get him drunk because the wit he has, and when he's able to do those little offhanded comments, he's really interesting, and he always has a good perspective on stuff. And he doesn't cater to anybody, so I really like that. And even bring up the Russell Brand stuff, despite what you think as far as being offended. Hope not. Hope you understand where we're both coming from. Crime is bad. Sexual assault is bad. And yeah, it's a good end there. I guess Casey doesn't do goodbyes. Come check out his show. Comics Should Be Dead. And yeah, if you like this, if you listen this far and you haven't subscribed, obviously you hate me because you don't want me to see me succeed. So if you are, thank you very much. If not, please do so, and more of these will come out and you can see them sooner. So have a good day, and we will see you again sometime. Yeah. Take care.